Hello everybody, welcome back to another one of my benchmarks. Verda here, and today we're going to be trying out Genshin Impact. We're going to be trying 1080p, 1440p and 4K resolutions, all pretty much at the maximum settings, I believe, because I haven't ever played this game, but I don't think it's that intensive. So I'm going to quickly show you the first settings that we're using here. I've gone through each one of these sliders and adjusted them so they are at the highest, and we're going to be trying out 1080p to start with, which means my window is absolutely tiny. So if I miss something or I don't see something, it's because I can't really see my window right now. But we're going to just reset my FPS real quick, and we're just going to basically take a look at the game. And just out of curiosity, I installed this game on a hard drive just to see how this would run on like a really slow storage device. You can see though that there is a 60 FPS cap in this game, but the game looks great. And the reason why I'm benchmarking this is because I recently, like a month or two ago, I benchmarked Wuthering Waves. And, you know, people will obviously compare Wuthering Waves to this game quite a bit, I would have to imagine, in terms of art style and just gameplay probably as well. So I figured I'd come here and actually check it out, because it's a game that I've known about for a long time, but never actually checked out. And it looks like at 1080p using the absolute maximum settings, the game actually runs fine. There is a hiccup here and there, but like I said, I installed it on a hard drive just to see how it would run on a hard drive, because Wuthering Waves was actually not able to really play on a hard drive, so I wanted to see if this was going to be playable. Okay, we gotta climb.
Depletes stamina, and depleted stamina takes time to recover.
Oh my god, that voice.
Okay,
but
let's take the route
stop.
we planned.
Stop talking to me. It's
We're
weird.
Off to a statue of the seven.
Stop it. All right,
Which
so
of the seven are you looking for exactly?
I'm trying to do a video here. So it looks like at 1080p though, it's going to be more than fine here on this GPU. Yeah, we're not going to spend any more time here at 1080p. I know I'm not in any combat or anything right now, and that combat will definitely increase the, you know, graphical intensity. But when we're only utilizing 40% of the GPU at these settings, I'm not going to spend any more time on it, basically. So we're going to go straight up to 1440p. Also, another reason is I want to be able to see the game. So now my window is a little bit bigger. Still not the biggest, but yeah, it's a bigger window now, finally. Nice. I'll be able to see a bit better. But 1440p, obviously all max settings like I just previously had. So let's get back to it.
That's a statue
Please
of the
let me skip. Please let me skip.
There are a few of these among the set.
Skip.
As we all know, poetry and language flow like the wind.
I've got to shut her up. Give me a sec. I can't listen to this. Dialogue volume off. Right, so here's 1440p, and I've noticed that my game feels a bit slow at times, but my FPS is staying at a solid 60, and I believe it is because I'm at 60 Hertz. I'm not a player that plays at 60 FPS in a lot of games, so for me, the 60 FPS cap, I can definitely feel it. It just feels a bit off to me, basically. But I'm sure you could get used to it, you know, with enough time playing the game. I haven't yet to get into any combat, so we'll see if it does change when I get into combat. And it does look like this game runs quite well on a hard drive, which is something that could not be said for Wuthering Waves, basically, is what I'm trying to say. Wuthering Waves really did not perform well on a hard drive. I had a lot of stuttering issues and stuff when I tried it on there. But it looks like you can play this one, at least outside of combat, perfectly fine with a hard drive. When I first loaded into Wuthering Waves, I got a huge amount of stutters, and every new area just stuttered like crazy. So that is a huge difference that I'm already noticing here. But yeah, the game's not demanding at all. I'm not sure how long this game has been out. I know it's been out for a little while, but I'm not 100% sure as to how long it's been out. Right, what am I supposed to be doing here? Oh, I'm supposed to follow you. Oh, that's what I got wrong. Anyways, but yeah, the game runs totally fine here, even at 1440p at maximum settings. And I will say, even though this is not my kind of game, the graphic style it's okay. It's very clean looking. It's very bright. It's not exactly off-putting. It's a quite good looking game, and it runs really quite well. I don't know if this is a mobile game as well. It might be. I'm not 100% sure, guys. Like, I don't know too much about these games, but what I do know is it runs really well. So we're going to go ahead and switch over to 4K now, because there's really no reason to stick around here at 1440p. It runs totally fine on this kind of system, as you would imagine. And yeah, 3060 Ti, no problems at all to run the game. So we'll switch it over to 4K. All right, and finally, we're going to try 4K resolution here. Finally, I'm going to be able to see my screen, which is quite nice. I'm going to be able to see the game in the full screen mode, but we're at max settings still, of course, and we're still using the 1x render resolution, which we might increase just to mess around with it a little bit. So yeah, 4K resolution. Let's see how it runs here. Okay, here we are. And by the way, when I was switching presets just before I switched from 1440p to 4K, I got into a bit of combat and it was fairly smooth. And also, I've noticed that teleporting around and doing that kind of stuff, it's pretty fast, even with the hard drive. It's not that slow, which is something that could not be said for Wuthering Waves. Wuthering Waves was quite a slow game when it came to like teleporting and just other stuff. It wasn't very good if you had a hard drive, so you definitely needed an SSD for that game in my experience. Whereas this one, it looks like you're actually going to be able to play it with a hard drive. If that's all you have, you can do it. And I did want to just test that here as well, into some combat here. And you can see that my frame rate, it just pretty much stays there at 60. Can I use my ult, or do I need to charge it? I guess I need to charge my ult, which makes sense, it is an ult. But you can see though, like, it stays at that solid 60 FPS. Frame time graph does stutter a little bit, but still got 60 frames. And I can't feel that frame time graph that much. I do feel the 60 hertz slow down, but I don't feel the frame time graph. But yeah, even in combat, it's not really that intensive. I'm sure there's way more intensive fights coming up later on. But at least as of right now, it's not intensive at all, for me at least. So I'm actually going to mess around and we're going to increase the render resolution scale just for the sake of it. We'll just do that. So we'll put the render resolution up to 1.5 times. I'm not 100% sure as to what resolution that actually is, but we're going to play like this and it should increase the quality quite a bit. Still at maximum settings, of course. So let's see how it runs here at 4K. Well, it's more than 4K now. All right, so increasing the render resolution to 1.5 times at 4K, it's actually very similar in terms of GPU utilization, it seems right now. Still barely utilizing the GPU in all honesty. So yeah, I mean, whoa. Take some of that. We'll just run in. Got my basic sword. Oh, it's got like auto aiming. Like it actually goes and targets them. Even got 61 FPS there. Wow, my FPS increased. No, I'm joking. But that's going to do it for today. I hope you enjoyed this benchmark. I just really wanted to come in here and have a look at Genshin Impact because I tried Wuthering Waves and people were constantly comparing it in there to Genshin Impact and the performance and how Genshin Impact runs much better and so on. I wanted to come and see it with my own eyes just to see how it runs. There is a severe lack of benchmarks for this game on YouTube and other places, and that's pretty much because it runs really well. So yeah, it runs really well here. I'll probably try it on my old gaming PC, which is much weaker than this one, and that will allow us to see, you know, how it runs on a bit of a worse system. It's not a bad system by any means, but it's not as good as this one, so I will try it on there at some point. But that's gonna do it for today. Do let me know what you thought about this video in the comments, and are you surprised that it can run on a hard drive so well? Because I'm quite surprised. Honestly, didn't really notice it. The only thing I did notice was the 60 hertz or 60 FPS cap. But I've been Verda. Thanks for checking out the video, and until next time, guys, goodbye for now.